Well, good morning, family. It's 4 minutes past the hour on this 10th day of September. Woo, we have made it midway through the week. It is hump day. Oh, is it? What is? Wait a minute. Hey, what day is it? Yeah, it's hump day. Wednesday. Hump day in the city. Work it out Wednesday, family. Welcome to hashtag Truth Be Told / JD Live. Your early morning get up, wake up. Your 1 hour of information, motivation, inspiration, conversation that gives elevation. Time for us to rise. Yesterday, we got into some deep conversation, family, about the N word. We will continue. How do we look at each other and how do we communicate with each other? And why do we say certain words to each other? And what meanings do those words have? Of course, in the news, everybody's talking about how the Israelis attacked in Qatar in a whole nother country, Hezbollah. And our President Donald J. Trump, said he's not happy because you drop bombs in another sovereign nation while these folks were looking over supposedly the plans to negotiate the big grand peace plan I had to get my Nobel Peace Prize. Now you drop a bomb on the guys while they were looking at the plans that I had. Just say it. He's not happy. He's not happy at all. But of course, Netanyahu's going to be coming out with a full statement along with the Israelis about why did they make the strike in another country, why these people were supposedly looking over the peace plans to usher in peace into the Middle East. But neither here or there, it is something that you need to pay attention to. Of course, it is September. I was just finished looking at another news outlet what was talking about politics in September. September is normally when you forget about the last election and start getting ready for the next election. I agree with that. It's when you kind of do all the evaluation of what went right, what went wrong last time, and how do we move forward because another one's on the horizon. Of course, Kamala Harris is coming out with a book talking about, of course, what happened with the election, with what happened with her. And I just tell everybody to pay attention, pay attention. I'm still at a place where when it comes down to telling y'all to pay attention, I really mean pay attention. And good morning to everybody out there. Listen, if you're looking for a vehicle, if you in the market to buy a car, you might need to holler at my boy Zay. Zay, I'm gonna have you give me some information where I can tell them how they can holler at you. All that good stuff. Where show my boy some love. If you need 4 wheels, Lee, that brother can get you into a car real quick. So, I'm always showing love and showing people, what's going on and talking about what other folks are doing. There's a lot of folks out there doing great things. And I want you, my people who follow me, who listen to me, to, if you need something, I can tell you who got it and where you can go get it at. We're broadcasting live, of course, on all social media platforms. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter X. You can follow us at the JDMS. If you are on YouTube, we are broadcasting live at 100 BLK Media on YouTube. 100 BLK Media on YouTube. And if you want to email us, all you do is email us at teamtbt@outlook.com. That's teamtbt@outlook.com. But like I said, on Instagram, we're at the JDMS. On YouTube, we're at 100 BLK Media, and we are broadcasting LIVE right now. Right now. So tell a friend to tell a friend. I see people jumping on YouTube. I see them jumping on Instagram. I see them on Facebook. Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for logging in, tuning in to hashtag Truth Be Told, JD Live, your early morning. Get up, wake up, wake up. Time to get up, family. Time to get up. 8 minutes past the hour. 8 minutes past the hour. And how are you doing? I had asked a question, and it seems to be when I ask questions, and I'm not trying to ask questions to be right. I'm asking questions because I want you to get the information or begin to formulate a thought, a thought about, am I actually doing better? So I asked the question, hey, when you go to the grocery store, do you feel that you're doing better than you did a year or 2 years ago? I asked that question. I asked that question. Do you, when you go to the grocery store, when you pay your light bill, when you pay your utility bill, when you pay your water bill, your light bill, do you feel like it's cheaper than it was a year or 2 years ago? Uh, do you feel when you go to the gas pump that gas is cheaper than it was a year or 2 years ago? Do you feel like your paycheck is bigger now than it was a year or 2 years ago? I've asked that question not to say that I'm right, wrong, or indifferent, but to ask you, do you feel like you're doing better than you were 2 years ago or a year ago? Have y'all been paying attention to big beautiful bill? And you do understand that a lot of the big beautiful bill and the legislation that has been put in place that will affect a lot of black and brown folks won't go into effect until after the midterms. So if you think you're feeling bad now, as Bobby Womack would say, if you think you're lonely now, wait until after the midterms, girl. Wait until after the midterms. Y'all got to pay attention. Once again, I'm terribly disturbed that I haven't heard voices that have took up for certain individuals. But when our president literally says that black and brown kids are born to be criminal, that's quite disturbing to me. And that nobody responds or comes back and says, no, you're absolutely incorrect, sir. Children are children, and behaviors are learned. There are some things that are passed on through DNA. That is a known fact, that is proven. I'm not going to argue that. But black and brown kids are not born criminals. And that for you holding the highest elected position in the land, for you being the president of the most powerful and most respected free nation in the world, say something like that. I am glad that the great governor of Maryland checked you. Said, I got all the respect in the world for the office of the presidency, but that buffoonery I'm not dealing with. I'm just asking. I'm just asking. I see that Brother Guidry jumped in, Brother Pickens. Good morning. Good morning. I see the plethora of folks on YouTube and on Instagram, and thank y'all. And I see people are responding. Do y'all feel better? No. I'm just asking the question. You know, I'm just asking. Your insurance. Another thing. Your insurance. Do you feel like you're paying more insurance now than you did 2 years ago, 3 years ago? Question. Because understand this, for those of you who are loyal scholars, and there are a lot of Facebook doctors and Facebook lawyers and Facebook scholars, PhD in Facebookology. Y'all do understand that a tariff is a tax. I'm just saying. People will use large words that carry simple meanings, and they will name a thing by another thing to make you feel like it ain't the thing that they say they stand against. I'm just saying, a tariff is a tax, period. So when you say, oh, we're going to have great tariffs, we're going to have great tariffs, and a tariff is a tax, says the party that's against taxes. I am simply amazed how the party of Lincoln is no longer the party of Lincoln, but is truly now the party of Trump. And we have seen before our eyes a transformation of a group of individuals who stood for one thing that now stand completely for something else. And guess what? There's nothing wrong. Change is inevitable. Change will always happen. You will either evolve or become extinct. I promise you that. 14 minutes past the hour. Pay attention, family. Pay attention. You have to pay attention. Once again, these are my opinions. This is how I see it. I try to call balls and strikes from my perspective, and calling balls and strikes from my perspective may not be balls and strikes in your perspective. However, let me tell you something. My strike zone is pretty not a pretty big strike zone. It's a pretty moderate strike zone. I don't have an outlandish strike zone. Either you're in there and it's a stick, or you're out of there and it's a ball. And once again, this comes from my experiences, where I come from my world travels, from things that I've done in life. And everybody, listen, there are folks out there that have done a great deal more than I have. I listen to those folks. I hear their perspective, and I understand. If you walked on the moon and I haven't, you can tell me how it feels to be out there in zero gravity. I don't know. I've never been there. And sometimes you have to listen to people who've been there and listen to how they felt in the moment while they were there, and understand you may never feel that because you may never go there. I'm just saying. I am simply amazed how everybody was in an uproar. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How everybody was in an uproar talking about how things were going to be better. I'm just asking, are things better, or do you feel like things are getting better? And look, once again, hurt dog will always holler. I'm not talking Democrat, Republican, Independent, Green Party. I'm asking you, Mr. and Mrs. individual who watches this podcast. I could care less what your affiliation is. I could care less what color you are, your sexual orientation. If you are an adult and working, do you feel like you in your adulting doing better today than you were a year, 2 years ago? I'm asking the question. Has absolutely nothing to do with your affiliation with anything. When you pull out those dollars out your purse, or when you swipe your card, do you feel like you're getting more or less for the hard work you do for your 9 to 5 or your 12 to your 12-hour shift? Do you feel like you're getting somewhere? Do you feel like when you go to purchase a home is cheaper today than it was yesterday? Question? I'm just asking. Because some of y'all are really walking around here looking like those two cops that were in the car with Axel Foley when he put the banana in the tailpipe. I'll sip on some of my coffee. Thank you. Just got an inbox yesterday and it made me laugh. Person said, when are you going to talk about the church being the bank without the FDIC? It's coming. I will be leaving in the morning for California, and I'll be in California until Sunday. And we'll be broadcasting live tomorrow and Friday, probably from on the road. We'll be in California Friday, 100%. We'll be broadcasting live from California on Friday, Fresno, California, to be exact. But tomorrow will probably be the road show. I probably will be broadcasting from on the road. And the question I've been asking, and listen, once again, this has nothing to do with Democrat, Republican. I'll tie that all together a little bit later. It has nothing to do with your party affiliation. Are you conservative? Are you moderate? Are you progressive? Has nothing to do with that. Has to do with a simple question. Do you feel, regardless of your affiliation, regardless of the job you do, regardless if you consider yourself wealthy, not wealthy, an investor, an entrepreneur, an employee, an employer, do you feel like things are better today than they were 1 year ago or 2 years ago. When you go to buy lumber supplies to do any type of home renovations, do you feel like that lumber is cheaper today than it was 2 years ago? Simple question. I'd like to throw up a comment that Brother Douglas Guidry put out there. He said, you can't say the Republican Party is not adjacent, adjacent to Trump's ideology. They are kind of similar, but MAGA is an entity all of itself. It is. This is true. And you have to understand this, and just the way I think Brother Guidry eloquently put that, you can't say that the ultra left is the heartbeat of the Democrat Party, though they do have some similarity. See, you can't say one thing on one side without saying it on the other. You know, and today's price is not yesterday's price. Like that one, Jules Wall. Like it. That's what she basically said. But family, I want y'all to wake up and really start asking yourself the question, what role do I play in how we move forward in making things better? What role do I play in us moving forward to make things better? Because you have to understand, right now, Black and brown folks, and most Black and brown folks I talk to, are convinced that they vote don't do anything. I ring the bell for myself. Sadly, most Black and brown folks don't believe that their vote does anything. I live in the great state of Louisiana. I am not a Louisianian by birth. I am a Tennessean. So I am born in the great state of Tennessee, but I migrated, went to college, and now I live in the great state of Louisiana. I work in a small municipality of about 15 to 16,000 people called Opelousas, Louisiana. Yesterday, ICE was in Opelousas. Today, ICE will probably be in Opelousas again. Nobody's safe. Nobody's safe. Now, if I recall right, and somebody please correct me if I'm wrong, because I could be. I don't read everything perfectly, and sometimes I only read what I want to read and see what I want to see. You know, sometimes I'm very admitting to being quite like, you know, a horse with blinders on. I didn't read everything. I just kind of read what made me go, ooh wee, they said that. See, that's kind of like the spit that was heard around the world when football kicked back off. And you had the Eagles against the Cowboys. And when they first showed you what happened, because they didn't show you the whole story. See, some of y'all not old enough to know Paul Harvey. Paul Harvey used to say, here's the rest of the story. But when they showed you what they showed you at the football game between the Eagles and the Cowboys, you made Jalen Carter the villain. Because they didn't show you the whole story. They showed you Jalen Carter walking up, spitting on Dak Prescott. And because none of us saw the whole story at that time, everybody went on social media and said, I dare you to do that to a human being. Not seeing, when you don't see the whole story, you begin to formulate an opinion that all of a sudden turns the villain into the victim and the victim into the villain. Which, once again, when you see the whole story, you have a little bit better understanding how things occurred. Because the first person to spit was Dak Prescott. And I don't fall for that okie doke excuse that, hey man, this guy spit all the time. He do that. That's just what he do. Because if you go back and watch it, he spit. He actually walked up, two big linemen standing there. He spit for Jalen Carter. And when Jalen asked him the question, the simple man question, hey, bro, you spitting at me? His exact move was this. We all know what that means. Be exact. I'm never in here by myself. We're international. Yes. Hashtag truth be told, JD Live is international because I have my correspondent who I will be meeting up with real soon. He don't know that. I'm getting ready to make another trip back over to Deutschland, and I'm going to be in the big city of Berlin, back in my old stomping ground. I'm going to hook up, and we're going to actually do a live broadcast straight from Germany. But y'all give it up for my brother, Broken Berlin, doing this thing. My brother. What's happening, man?
I need that quote of what you have on your shirt. I'm about to already copy paste it. I love it. I
Hey,
need that quote.
hey, send me your address. I will get the shirt to you. It comes from Montgomery, Alabama. They have a great museum there where they I emphasize, if you ever come home and you get to Montgomery, definitely come and check out the. See, they're trying to, they don't want us to talk truth. See, when we start talking truth, they start messing with the connection. That's all right. That's fine.
This
Good
is
morning.
true.
Good morning. How's life in Germany? How's life in Germany, brother?
It's always amazing, but it is kind of funny seeing how the stabbing on the metro bus that happened in South Carolina, how it's translating over
Yeah,
here because we're by
yeah,
Ukraine.
yeah.
And so it's like it's huge news over here. It seems like it's only been huge news in America for the last 2 days.
Right.
But it's shaping us
Well,
again to always be the villain
right,
when in
right. Hold on.
reality
Hold on.
okay,
Right.
okay, okay.
Hold on. The part you say it. Now, let me translate this to folks who are listening. It's 25 minutes past the hour.
Mhm.
There is a transit system in Europe that is bar none, to me, the best transit system in the world. When I
Yeah.
lived and I lived in Dusseldorf, Germany. Uh, lived in Dusseldorf, Germany, a great deal of my life. I lived in Dusseldorf. I lived in Bossenberg. I lived in Maastricht, Holland. There's
Wow.
some places I lived. Yeah, I lived in Maastricht. I was in Maastricht for about a year and a half. But in my time of living in Europe, I could go from Maastricht to Paris. I lived in Paris. I could go to Maastricht to Paris literally in an hour and a half by train. I could literally live in Holland, work in Paris, or I could live in Holland, work in Germany, because Maastricht was right there at the border of Germany, Luxembourg. I could live in certain places, and let me tell you something. The transit system was there great. Now, Germany has always had this issue. They've always had a migrant issue of their own. And you have to understand, if you understand anything about German and German history, uh, after the war, especially after World War II, I can honestly say, because I have a son that's half German. I have a son, my oldest son, whose birthday will be on the 21st of this month. Um, there is always a fear of black and brown folks on the transit system in Germany. I tell you that absolutely. And then when you see this tragedy that was on on social media, where a guy just literally went up and stabbed a lady in her neck, bam, 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 and you see her die. It brings mass chaos in, and I don't know once again, I don't know all the situation behind it. I know this: that should have never happened. Be it mental, be it a person who's just pure evil, and something was said. You never have the right to take a person's life. It's not that serious. It's not that serious. You're not in combat. This is not war. You don't have a right to take a person's life. But of course, because it is, once again, something that they will show that they will blow up to the 15th power, is here is a poor innocent, truly a poor innocent individual, and a heinous person doing a heinous crime. That poor innocent individual happens to be non-melanated, and the person committing the crime happens to be black and brown. So once again, here comes the savages being savages, doing what they always do, which is savage things to the poor innocent folks who are just there trying to get from point A to point B. Which, let's say something. Sadly, those are the facts in that situation, in that video.
Mhm.
Bad people do bad things to good people all the time, regardless of how it goes. And we've got to pay attention to
but
that.
because
Go
she's
ahead, my brother.
attractive and blonde, it changes it enhances the narrative.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because she's a Disney princess looking type of white. Remember Patrice O'Neill? It's like what would he say? Like Natalie Holloway, like the white woman. They're more valuable, and it really. My papa always said that don't let a death juice you up so much where it's like that death happens all over the world. Like when a black person is killed by the police in America, he'd be like, "Well, do you not think that's happening in Africa? Do you not think that's happening in Brazil? Like, well, why are you so upset that this white cop killed a black person when on a global scale, you should not let one death should not make you more animated than any other death. All death is bad."
So that's the point. And Jason, let me say this, and this is going to blow your mind. I'm totally flabbergated right now because we have a 6-year-old little girl who was pulled off of life support, who was at a balloon release where people were mourning an individual's death and gunfire broke loose. She got hit and now she's dead. Now, and this happened in the city I live in.
Right.
I see us march, protest, go on Facebook and go crazy about everything. You let right now, that would have been a police officer, a white police officer shooting at a little 6-year-old girl, got hit by gunfire from a white police officer. Let me tell you something. We would have been out in them streets talking about he got to go, the police got to go, everybody got to go, the mayor got to go, the police chief got to go, everybody got to go. But no, this little black girl got hit by gunfire, and I ain't seen one person marching nowhere. I ain't seen, all I see is a few little posts saying, "Oh, this is
Thoughts
so
and prayers.
tragic. This is sad." Thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers. But let me tell you something. Had it been, hold it. So all of a sudden, it's not so much the death itself, it's who perpetrates the death that puts us in a place where all of a sudden we got to start talking all this ish and let's get together and umkai. And then you got the mitigated God to tell me that you are a community activist and you're a community leader, and I ain't heard nothing from nobody. Crickets. This is what I've been
Imagine how
hearing.
angry you would be if you're a parent and your child was killed by gang violence or by somebody who's black, and nobody in the community even said shit about it. But then another kid that same week was killed by a white person, and now they get all the sympathy. Like, how angry would you be as a wait a minute, where's the outrage for my child dying? My child was innocent. Where's the protesting for? Where's the who's asking for change for my child? Why does it have to be someone who's white to do something evil and heinous for us as a community to get upset about it? And so that's the same thing I say about this. The same thing I've been saying to white people here. It's like, okay, hey, I get it. She's Ukrainian. She looks like you, so you're more invested. But here, I'll show you. This happened 2 days before. This white person cut the throat of a black woman in Seattle, Washington. You haven't heard. So
hold it, and you ain't heard. Hold it, and you ain't heard one word about. Hold it. That really happened, and you ain't heard one peeping word about it. That part. Let's pause and let folks marinate on that for a minute. Once again, as I told folks, it is getting to be this scenario, not only in America, but in the world. If you're white, it's all right. If you're brown, you can stick around. But if you're black, you got to stay back. But we're not going to stay back 1 minute further. We're going to let you marinate. We're going to bring in a brother where we could all participate for a few minutes, because I still want to talk about this spit herd around the world. Here's why. There's a big reason I want to talk about that and bring it right back to you. Y'all give it up. All the way in the big city of Knoxville, Tennessee, home of Rocky Top. You'll always be home sweet home to me. Pure old Rocky Top, Tennessee. I just got to hit it for you one time, because have y'all seen where Tennessee is ranked in the rankings? That's how. Okay, we're gonna be quiet for a second. Let's be quiet, because LSU.
Can I throw Elijah an alley oop real quick with a question?
Throw him a oop.
Elijah, I don't know how old you are, but in your experience, when did you see this spitting thing happen in our community, that all of a sudden we are doing it a lot when we get angry? When you see people spitting at police when they get in trouble, you see women spitting at women when they get mad. You see women spitting at me. When did? Because I think it's your generation. When did the
Right,
spitting thing
right.
kind of?
That's a good question. When did the spit thing become all of a sudden a
Because
thing?
that wasn't that gets you killed in my generation.
Right.
I want to say the first time I ever seen it was probably middle school.
From a guy, a girl, and a how?
Hey, I think so. You know what? I think social media and reality TV ushered this in. Because if I go back and look at some of the Bad Babes or some of the Love and Hip Hops, that's how it started. Somebody
I love New
was
York.
spit on somebody.
When the white girl spit on the VH1, I love New York lady. When she spit on her, that's I think black people got so mad that we made that a weapon. But
no, I don't know. I think middle school. I think middle school was the first time I seen it. It's a crazy story. I'm not saying no names, but I remember there was this one girl. She came in there, and I'll never forget this. She came in there. She was yelling at this guy, saying all this and that. She was like, "I spit on you, blah blah." But he was like, "You're not gonna do that." And he sat in the back of the class, and she said, "You know what? I'm gonna get my brothers." I'll never get this. He goes, "If you send your brother to my house, he ain't never coming back." I ain't never forget that.
And then she spit on him.
Nah, she ain't do it.
Oh. When did you see? When did you see a man spit on another man like you saw in the football game? Have you ever seen that?
No, I can't say I've seen females do it.
Hey, but let's really think about this, because they're talking about doing something to Carter. They're really talking about doing something to him.
No, they just fined him. They didn't suspend him.
So they fined him. Okay, I still think Dax need to be fined, because that once
Yeah,
again,
he spit
first. I'm sorry that he always be spitting. Hold up, dude. I want you to really look at this the way let's look at this from a real investigative point of view. Dak took 5 steps. I actually went back and had somebody who was there film and send me the film.
Had a magnifying glass.
Hold it.
Zoom in.
Hold it. Dak took 5 steps to 2 big offensive linemen. Right. Look at Michael Parsons. He didn't, before he spit, he looked right at, he didn't look, not Micah. He looked right at Jalen Carter. Looked at him and said, and then when my man said, hold it, and you can see him saying it, he didn't actually say, did you? He said, MF, did you spit at me? And my man said, we all know what that means. Hold it. And right now, my man is in Germany. My man is in Knoxville. I'm in Louisiana. If I grab one of these hats and throw it in the air, they know something about to go down up in here. They don't know. Somebody done ran in Joe's house. Something go. Joe done threw the hat. When the hat go up, it's the universal bat signal for black folks. We know.
I know.
When you get spit on, you got to spend your whole brain trying. Do I need to kill this person? If someone spits on you, you are a victim, because you got to go. You got to calm yourself down.
I don't
know.
In a way. Douglas Guidry must be a Cowboy fan or that type person. Douglas, you can say what you want to. You spit in my direction because he put it out there. I'm gonna put it out there what he said. He said Dak never spit on him. It was toward his direction. Douglas, as much as I love you, brother, me and you cool with each other, I'm gonna tell you straight up. And you know this, any black man will tell you this because it's the way it is. If you spit my direction and I ask you, Douglas Guidry, hey, my brother, you spitting at me and you do this number, it's on.
Hey, I didn't mean to shoot you. I was just shooting in your direction.
I was just shooting in your direction. I just pulled out the gun and decided to shoot in your direction.
I didn't mean to hit that person. I was just shooting in their direction.
I shoot all the time. I just happen to shoot in your direction. Okay.
Yeah, I do think Dak should be fine too, because he was the initiator.
Yes, sir. He was the instigator. See, yeah. See, and I got a problem with people who do that. And guess what? If you one of them people who do it, y'all know who you are. Y'all quick to instigate. Y'all quick to propagate. Y'all quick to always push the envelope, and then when somebody finally gets fed up and busts you in your mouth, you the first one who say, "Oh, look what they did to me." You're quick to light the house on fire, but be the first one to run out and swear to God that you the burn victim. You lit the house on fire. You burnt because you said if you had never set the house on fire, you couldn't run out saying that you burned. But a lot of y'all want to win. Look at me. You don't say about what you did to get yourself in the position that you're in. Get yourself together.
Elijah, you're playing a pickup basketball game, okay, with some friends and some people you don't know, and some guy fouls you as an argument, and he spits on you. What do you do?
I'm not going to take that lightly. I'm gonna say this.
Right.
No. Break it. What would you do? I'm not gonna take it.
I'm throwing hands.
Yeah,
I'm throwing, period. I don't care if I get my ass whooped or not. You not hold it. And that's why I gotta laugh at Dax. That's why I know furthermore Dax know he was wrong. Because you hide between two linemen, you spit at the man comes and spits on you.
That's the thing about it. See, Dak did that. No, because if they was in regular street clothes, Jalen Carter would try to kill that man.
Yes,
he only spit back because he's in football equipment and he was hoping he didn't get caught. If that man was not in football equipment, Jalen Carter would have tried to destroy
that part.
That's worse than getting slapped.
Hold it. And once again, just like we pull up the card, white privilege. We pull up the card, white privilege, and then we give the black card to real blackness. What Dax did was the equivalent of white privilege. I know the most protected person in the NFL is the quarterback. I know this big dude. I really don't need him pass rushing me because he can't stand me. He already done said he's going to knock the stuffing out of me. So let me instigate him to get him up out of here. Well, I ain't got to worry about him for the rest of this game. He one person, and you still lost. That means, and you still lost. Why? Because I'm going to say it like Bubba Dub. Cowboys, y'all are trash.
And then I want to get into another thing.
Come on, let's get it.
I got a small couple minutes left.
Come on, get it.
Caleb Williams, before the game, the national anthem was going on. You know how people feel about national anthem. But before the game, he went and talked to one of his teammates because he didn't know who the guy was while he was singing. He was like, "Who is this?" And then they flipped the camera to the Vikings quarterback who was locked in, looking at just looking straight on. So a column wrote that I don't know if Caleb Williams could be a first-round pick because it seemed like he doesn't take nothing serious because he's talking before the national anthem during the national anthem instead of being locked in. He's not a number one draft pick kind of guy. And I read that and I just, pondered on it for a little minute. And I was just saying to myself, what does that have to do with anything? The man just asked, who is this? And, and to be honest with you, some people get pumped up in different ways. Some people have to, not everybody go in there listening to the Future. Some people got to listen to R&B to calm themselves down. Mm-hmm. Not everybody go out there and go out there just with a mean face and play some people really have to joke so they could get themselves going. And I'm not saying Caleb Williams was joking. I'm not saying he was trying to be facetious about the whole thing. He probably really didn't know who the person was and decided to ask. And the camera called it at the wrong time. But at the end of the day, that doesn't determine if you're a first round or you're that guy, because there's a lot of quarterbacks that probably wasn't the same how you think they are. And then they go out there and deliver every time.
So Elijah, I know you got to go, and we're going to keep this conversation going. It is 42 minutes after, but I want to say the following. I've got a solution to all of this. Since y'all are so upset with us black and brown folks, just take us out of everything. Take us out of sports, take us out the military, take us out of everything, and y'all do it by yourselves. Y'all don't need us. Take it by yourselves. Go ahead. Let's just have a football game with all of y'all and the rest of we just, just take us out the equation. You know what? Just send us. We need to find a place where we can create our own utopia and we can do it ourselves and let them just have their own thing. Since y'all are so upset with us black and brown folks, guess what? Take us out of everything.
That's the part. We were so close to that happening when the NBA had their lockdown, and they were literally talking about, hey, we'll go ahead and make our own separate league. And they pulled back the powers that be and the LeBron, but because they had an opportunity. You know what? Okay, let's have an NBA lockdown. And if they had stuck true to the lockdown, they would have created their own side league that everybody would have watched because it would have been all the star black players. Had they stayed true to that path, the things that you're speaking about would have already been in place. The NBA
Okay.
players had an opportunity to truly create their own league during that lockdown. And had they not bent the knee to the corporations and taken the rewards that they were probably offered, holy crap, we would be in a completely different place economically. Because if we had our own sports league that were supporting our own communities, do you know how much money? Because again, globally, we're watched. Everybody on the globe will be watching, not NBA basketball, but it would be whatever the new basketball would be with all the star players on it. It would be putting money exactly where we need it as a community. But
Okay.
we
Hold on.
pulled back on it.
We're gonna get into that. Elijah, I know you got to go, brother. Let them know about the Fitz Take. We'll see you tomorrow for Turn Up Thursday, Turn Down for What. We're gonna turn y'all up about first. There's two things we're gonna talk about tomorrow. We're gonna talk about this thing I have no understanding of, which is this fantasy football thing, and then we're gonna turn up about. Let's look at the college rankings and how do you think the college rankings are gonna look after this weekend? Let's go. Give it to me, man.
First and foremost, I always want to say thank y'all for giving me the platform. I love talking to y'all. This is great. I love it. I ain't gonna lie, I love it. Then for the Fitz Take, continue to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'm still, waiting to hear back if we can grab the guy that got hurt over the on Sunday. It hurt my soul that happened, but I hope he, it's a speedy recovery so we can grab him. But other than that, continue to like and share the channel because it's growing fast. And then pretty soon we're going to do a live stream about on one of these games. I'm not sure which one yet, but we're going to do one probably in the next couple of weeks so everybody can watch the game with us, chat with us, have a good time with us as we depict NFL or a college game. So again, just thank y'all for the support and we love y'all.
All right, that part. So that is my man, Elijah Nixon. Elijah with sports, got nothing but love for him. The international duo of B and B, I'm gonna call them B2, Broken Berlin and JD. We're in the building, and it's 15 minutes to the top of the hour, and we're gonna go at it. Listen, y'all got to pay attention to what's going on, globally and at home. My brother Jason, how long have you been in Germany, Jason? How long have you been?
10 years now. So
10 years.
Yes.
How long have you been? So all 10 years you have been a person who's living in a foreign country, working in a foreign country, and I know how it feels. They call it working on the economy, but you out there working in Berlin doing big things, and I got love for my brother, and I'll be seeing you sooner than you think, my friend. I'm gonna call and tell you about that. But
okay,
we got issues, and see, here's the crazy thing. I'm so glad that me and Jason met each other because Jason and I got so much in common. But watch this. He, a black man in a foreign land, and got the same issues that we have right here in the United States of America when we are black men in our own country, because this is our country. I was born on American soil. So and he was born in Oklahoma. So listen to what I'm saying. You being black and brown and being in another part of the world does not negate the issues that you might be dealing with that you feel is just benign or only happening here in America. Those issues are happening in other countries too. And we as a people have to start recognizing and understanding the stigmas, because there's two types of, there's stigmas attached to us that are nuances. Oh, people love black folks. There's certain sexual innuendos that it's good to be black. And then there are things that people feel when it comes down to black folks are horrible. People, you got a President Trump said it. Can't say he didn't say it. He basically said that black folks are born criminals.
Yeah.
And this is, and you can't defend that when you got a man who made it crystal clear when his father was still living. Him and his father had multiple businesses and multiple places that they could rent to black folks that they didn't want black and brown folks in their places. They made it crystal clear. We did not buy this apartment building in this part of Manhattan to have a black or brown person rent a space from us.
Or you could ask him, weren't you born a criminal? Because you were born into with a silver spoon doing criminal activities as far as making money the way you weren't supposed to be making money. Your father was a criminal in doing things against the law to kind of, but you guys were just different types of criminals. Weren't you born a criminal too?
So let us be real about Trump. Trump is German. Okay, since y'all didn't know, since everybody tried to make it seem like he's Swedish, no, he's not. Trump is German.
Yep.
So first of all, let's get some facts here. He lied. His family lied about them being German because at that time, being German had the stigma that you running from Nazi Germany because you may be a sympathetic person to the Nazi regime or to Hitler. Let's just call it what it is. So first of all, and let's say this. Trump has popularized and made it very popular and made it that we turn a blind eye to people who lie gratuitously. Because guess what? He lied gratuitously. He spoke his mind gratuitously. He said heinous things gratuitously. And people said, well, he really didn't mean that. He said, grab him in the coochie.
Right?
People said he really didn't mean that. It's just him talking. No,
He didn't mean it like that. Like, how did he mean it?
Hold it. He meant it. And the truth about it is, he said what you really want to say. You want to be bold enough to walk around and say, you know what? I don't care about these women. I'll grab them in the coochie. But you ain't him.
Right.
See, that's why people like Trump. Trump say things
they want to be him.
Say. Right. They want to say, they want to be able to stand up and say, you know what? I'll shoot Joe Dupree in the middle of New York City and ain't nobody gonna do nothing about it. Because actually there are folks who hate me that much that want to say that, but they ain't got the nuts to say it like Donald Trump would say it. See, that's the problem. That's the truth about it is y'all are entertained by the heinous conversation that Trump says. Some of the stuff Trump says, y'all wish y'all could say. Y'all wish y'all could say, I want all these Mexicans gone, unless they're working for me, of course. See, because that's what Trump really said. Trump said, I want all the illegals gone, except the illegals that are working for me, because the records show he had buku illegals working for him in Mar-a-Lago.
So in a way that Trump has superseded being a president, and he's become an idol. Like Bush wasn't ever really an idol for white people. He was a president. George Clinton really wasn't an idol to white people, but he was a president.
You mean Bill?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Bill. Ronald Reagan wasn't really an idol, but Donald Trump, I think, has superseded presidency.
Wait a minute,
become an idol.
Wait a minute, broken.
Okay, Reagan was an idol a little bit.
Hold on, it's Uncle Ruckus here. You can't speak about Ronald Reagan, not Ronald Reagan like that. You cannot speak about the great.
Jimmy Carter should have been an idol. Jimmy Carter should have been an idol.
We don't give a piss about nothing but Reagan. You know, Uncle Ruckus is somewhere going, man, Uncle Ruckus is mad at you right now. You do not speak about the great white Ronald Reagan like that, because he made white heaven.
Well, again, Trump is an idol definitely over even on this side of the world. And the same with this incident happening in America, it's already being transferred for the right wing, politicians here to get what they want. Even though it didn't happen on this side of the world, just because it was a black man hurting a blonde woman, and he has brown skin. Now the Turkish people have to suffer from it. The Syrian people have to suffer from it. Like, just because anyone with melanated skin on this side of the world now has to deal with the racial something, the racial whatever, because of this man in America doing this, because the media is marketing it and making all this side of the world upset on their see, look, brown skinned people, they can't act right. They can't, and this is like, this had nothing to do with y'all. This was our own issues in America, but now they're taking our issues that we have in America and they're making it their own in order to get what they want to have accomplished. It's fascinating, because it's like, this is a bus system, and our rail system in America is not the rail system you have here. So why are you trying to use this to pivot? Well, this is why we need to get these refugees out of Germany. Like, how are you connecting that dot? But they're connecting the dot because this man has brown skin and he attacked a white woman, and that's what they're underlining, connecting the dot to, and that's what's making a lot of the people on this side of the world upset. When it didn't happen over on this side of the world, it happened in America, but they're so outraged, like, oh my God, how could this happen? See, brown skinned people, they don't know how to act right.
They're savages.
That's what it boils down to.
Savages. They're savages. Yeah. And let's just be real about it. So Brother Eddie Barnett, a very good friend of mine, he brought on there, Joe, you still on grab them by the coochie? Yes, here's why, Brother Barnett, because there are people still mad about me, and maybe folks who still bring my name up about stuff that I said maybe 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. Because the truth about the matter is, I'm not going to let you just talk about me like a dog, and I don't bring up your past too. See, that's where we make the mistake. We want to forgive. We want to forgive Candy, Monsieur Candy, and all his sins. Monsieur Candy and everything he did at Candyland. Let's look up. Monsieur Candy has changed. Monsieur, listen, I'm gonna talk like my name is. I'm not Steven, but I'm one of the good people at Candyland. And Monsieur Candy has changed. Monsieur Candy was good to me and my people. He was good to my family. He was good. He let us go to church on Wednesdays and Sundays. He let us worship white Jesus. Monsieur Candy was good to us. Let me tell you something. We will not talk about the times that Monsieur Candy whooped and raped and blemished. No, that is in Monsieur Candy's past. However, yesterday, Mr. Black and Brown, Sambo, and Sammy, yesterday, you yourself told a little white lie. We need to talk about that until the end of time. But Monsieur Candy whipping our women and raping our women and doing all them heinous things, that's in Monsieur Candy. And the good word of Jesus, white Jesus, the good word of white Jesus said forgive. He said forgive. And I forgive Monsieur Candy. However, you not in white Jesus' word. So I'm gonna talk about you like a dog until you die.
And let's not forget raping the women. They were raping the men too. We can never forget that all the things that they were doing to women, they were doing to men back then too. The butt breaking or having us being butt broken by other people.
But we need to forgive them though. Why are you talking about broken Berlin? Broken Berlin.
That's the past.
That's why. Right.
That's why we can't get ahead. I keep remembering the past.
Hold it. Remember. That's why they do the thing on the tickety talk. They say we talk, but we don't judge. See, y'all judging Monsieur Candy. Monsieur Candy gave us a good place to stay. Monsieur Candy gave us a roof over our head. We could have been savages out there in the African Serengeti, just running from lions, tigers, and bears. But Monsieur Candy came with a boat and came and got us, gave us a good place. Look at where we at. Look at where they at. We could have been one of them savages over there in that land, but they came and gave us such a nice place. That's how some of y'all sound to me. I'm just saying. Now, if that's how you want to sound, look, you have the right to sound how you want to sound, but that's how y'all sound to me. Come on, family. We got to wake up. I keep saying pay attention. I'm not here to tell you what to think, how to think, but y'all need to start thinking. When Donald Trump say black and brown kids are born the way they born to be what that's your kids. He didn't say some black and brown kids. He didn't say the black and brown kids who belong to conservative families who voted for me and backed me. He said all black and brown kids.
He would have been better off saying all Americans are born criminals. But by him separating and making it a black or brown thing, as if white people don't have this criminality in them as well, when the entire American capitalistic system is based on the gun culture and cowboy Indian shit that we learned that from white people. We learned that from them. We are nothing but the stepchildren of the oppressor. That's all we are, and everything that is wrong with us, we have learned it from somebody, and who has been responsible for teaching us.
Here's my question, Jay. Jay, my question is, I wonder how many white folks are in this country right now illegal from Europe.
A lot.
Listen, that was God bless the truth. But how many? Listen, for real. How many Europeans came over here on a student visa and their student visa ran out and they still over here?
Or had a baby and got many. I remember in the early 2000s how many did that.
Watch this. I'm not trying to call no folks out. I know 3 people right now that live in my city that fall into that category. They are non-melanated from another country in Louisiana, and I know their visa has expired because they told me. Unless they have renewed it or did something. But about 2 years ago, before all this ruckus was going on, I was sitting with some folks and one of them told me, "Oh, my visa ran out years ago."
Wasn't Donald Trump's own wife a illegal immigrant for a little bit? She overstayed her visa and was staying when she wasn't supposed to.
So here's the thing. Here's my question. When you see these ICE raids, How many ICE raids do you see in non-melanated communities with non-melanated folks who are here illegally? I'll wait. I'll wait. Wait. I'll wait. No. And right now, I'm just saying it's 2 minutes to the top of the hour. Brother, Broken Berlin, how long can you stay? Can you give me an extra 15?
I can give you extra 15. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. So we're going to stay until 15 minutes after. And I just want to say this, family. We've got to pay attention. And here's why we have to pay attention. At the beginning of the show, I asked a question, and I don't think anybody I would even ask my brother in Berlin, because I don't know who is the chancellor. Who's the chancellor in Germany right now? Is it a female or male? Y'all got a male chancellor now,
It's
right?
a male one now. Yes.
Right. So it used to be a female. But
Yeah.
But here's what I want to say. Here's what I want to say. Here's why you got to pay attention. We as a people have got to be very open with our victories, very private with our correction, because that's what they do. That's what they do. That's what they do. And we just need to be very real about it. We're so quick to criticize each other openly and out in public. I laugh right now. I laugh at folks. Half the folks don't know even what's going on in my life. I know some of them are mad about it. Some of them are mad that I still got this podcast going. But once again, stop counting my pockets, because I damn sure don't count yours. And I laugh about that, because I have folks go, how does he keep it going? So-and-so left and this happened and that happened. And guess what? I know he don't really make that much money. I'm glad you feel that way. I want you to continue to feel that way. I really do. I am a connoisseur of comic books. And one thing I loved about Bruce Wayne is, for the longest in the comic books, nobody ever knew that Bruce Wayne was Batman. And sometimes when folks make an assumption about you, they don't know who you really are when the lights go out. So keep doing that. At the end of the day, the truth about the matter, and Brother Barnett, let me be real about you about numbers and statistics. Numbers and statistics never lie, but you can skew numbers and statistics far enough out to make them tell the story that you want to tell. Prime example here in the state of Louisiana, how the Secretary of State tried to come on and let everybody know about all these people who are fraudulently voting in our election. Guess what? She literally gave you 20-year stats. And then if only 45 people in 20 years have registered and voted illegally in this state, 45 and 20, that's a drop in the bucket. But once again, if I, along with the propaganda machine, start putting in your head that we got people registering illegally, voting illegally, it brings to you a place. See, the propaganda machine knows how to make you start having distrust in the system. Now you have distrust in the voting system. Then you have distrust in government. Then you have distrust in certain things. Right now, let me say this, 1 minute past the hour. One of the biggest shows, and I'm a big sci-fi guy, that you need to be watching right now is Alien Earth, not from the alien or the sci-fi aspect, but the aspect of how these corporations are literally taking over this world, because in Alien Earth, there is no government. The government is 5 corporations that run everything. And let me tell you something, with the distrust that we're starting to have happen in government, in politics, in our belief in the judicial, the executive, and the system of enforcement of the laws, I can see Alien Earth coming forth one day, and literally the government being demolished and literally corporations running this world, because we right now don't trust the government. You don't trust if the Republicans in office. You don't trust if the Democrats in office. You don't trust if they're ultra nationalists. You don't trust if they're progressive. You just don't, no matter where you're at, all over the world right now, people have a disdain and a distrust in government. I don't care if you're here in the United States of America. I don't care if you're in Europe. I don't care if you're in Asia. I don't care if you're in Africa. Everybody has a disdain and a distrust for government, because the propaganda machine has showed that there is flaws and cracks in the system, and it will always be, because in this book that some of you misinterpret because you don't read it yourself, it tells you that there will always be certain things. There will always be the poor amongst us. There will always be corrupt individuals. There will always, what is due Caesar, give to Caesar, but what is due God, give to God. And here's the thing, God don't ask for a lot. God asks you one thing. Here's my commandments, keep them. Half of y'all don't. If I tell you right now, tell me what the 10 commandments are, you can't tell me. You ain't even read the law. So if you ain't read the law, how in the world can you keep the law? But y'all are too busy sitting in these fashion shows, car shows, building shows that you call church, which is nothing but another reality show by another mean. Church is the new Colosseum of Rome. And are you not entertained?
It's we're only 75 years away from 2100. I think by the time that 2100 comes, what you've said will be here. I'm pretty positive I'll be gone by then. I'm 42
we'll be
now.
dust. We'll be dust and memories, right?
I hope I'm not in some jar being kept alive because my kids love me too much. I hope they let me go. But by 2021, again, it's only 75 years from now. It makes perfect logical sense that corporations will have more power and more trust than 80% of the governments. Because there's over 100 governments in America, not in America, but in the world. I think already corporations are stronger than 50% of them. 75 years from now, easily what you've said will be the reality.
Hold it. And Brother Douglas Guidry is talking about this 6-year-old. And I want to get into this just for a few minutes. We got 10 minutes before we get up out of here. Okay. We had a 6-year-old. And Brother Guidry, I'm not saying I agree with everything he said, but he says the 6-year-old shooting is an embodiment of everything that plagues the Black community. All those shooters come from fatherless homes. I'm not completely convinced of that, Brother Guidry. I don't think that's a fact.
It's not.
It's not, because, and let's be real about this. At the end of the day, I'm going to talk from a perspective, because I read a lot of Malcolm. And if you read the readings of Malcolm, I read a lot of Marcus Garvey. I read a lot of W.E.B. Du Bois. I read a lot of King. Our biggest problem is the disdain and the hate for each other over white folks. See, Black folks will criticize. You'll come on here and criticize me, but you'll sit at the white man's table and you'll act like you're a subservient servant and say, "Motisa, no sir, yes sir."
I'm just happy to be here.
But yeah, I'm just happy to thank you for giving me a seat at this table. So even though I'm appreciative. See, but you'll sit here and want to argue with me about things that can make our community better. We need to learn how to move the dollars amongst ourselves. We can work together and build better housing in our own community. We don't need outside help for that. That we can build wealth. And once again, I am going to, and I'm doing a deep dive. I'm just waiting to get, as Brother Barnett would bring out, the stats, the numbers about how much wealth these churches have accumulated that goes untaxed, unregulated, and not even by the FDIC. Some of these churches have more wealth than some of these banks out here. There are banks that do not carry as much paper wealth as some of these Black churches. And not only Black churches, period, because there are churches now that people have understood the premise of the church. So they have wealthy Black folks in their church, and they call it a mixed church, because all of a sudden this looks like heaven now. You have to understand, the most segregated place in America is a Sunday in America, period. See, once again, I don't talk just to be talking. I don't talk just to be talking. I don't talk just where you like, because if I wanted to do something for click, like, and share to make a lot of money on social media, I wouldn't even have my brother in Berlin on here. I wouldn't be on here. I have a whole bunch of naked girls dancing up on the pole while some other folks are playing video games, talking bad money, and y'all have about 2 million views right now because y'all be like, "Ooh, who twerking today?"
Yeah. See, or you have a bunch of, or you have a bunch of OnlyFans girls in part of these conversations, and making them. You have argument, but then all the people watching are really going to go watch the OnlyFans girls as they look stupid. Right. Which is the formula that whatever podcast does.
Right. Hold it. I would have some. I'll be an old brother here because I'm 58. I ain't got no shame in my game. I'm a seasoned brother. I ain't gonna call myself old. I'll be a seasoned brother in the game with some young girls on here talking mad ish about how they taking old men's money, about how they out here prostituting and screwing. And guess what? If I was doing that, because I could do that. I could do that. I have access to those type people. So I could have a podcast like that, but I refuse to be on here with that type of buffoonery to just entertain y'all, because I don't give a damn if y'all entertained or not. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to speak the truth that God told me to speak. And I don't care if it's 2 of y'all on here, 1 of y'all on here, or none of y'all on here. At the end of the day, I am accountable to somebody bigger than me. And I'm going to do exactly what he said, regardless how many y'all show up. Because the last time I checked, y'all laughed at Noah until the rain started raining.
Scratching on the boat. Hey, my bad. Hey, I didn't mean them jokes. Hey, player. Hey, come on. Hey, Noah, we was just joking. Noah, we was just joking. Hey, come on. I know you. You really gonna let us? Hey, hold on. He's serious. Hey, Noah, what the? Imagine all the pleas that turned to curses as Noah was sitting there and not. Hey. Imagine all the pleas. He was called every name in the book. He was called Satan himself when he didn't let them people in.
Hey, Jay, hold on. The same Noah that they're the drunk. What you building on? Dog, it ain't rained here in years. What you talk? You old drunk. See, that's that liquor talking to him. That wasn't God. See, y'all always want to talk about y'all know more than somebody else. I don't know nothing. I know what God told me. And you can't tell me what God told me. That's why I do what God told me to do, regardless if you're laughing, regardless if you're with me, or regardless if you're against me, because I end the show the same way. I tell you, there is no secret what God can do. What he has done for others, he will do for you, because when God is with you, nothing or no one can stand against you. So if you try to figure out how I keep going, let me tell you why. God is with me. And sometimes I ask myself why God is with me, because I am nowhere close to being deserving for him to be with me. But he with me. And guess what? I'm sure Noah was a drunkard. He was with him. I'm sure Jacob was a liar. He was with him. I'm sure David was a fornicator. He was with him. I can name you a lot of folks. Moses was a murderer and a stutter, but God was with him. So guess what? Your flaws ain't got nothing to do with God being with you. Let me say that again. Your flaws ain't got nothing. Your flaws has to do with what God will allow man to say about you, and for you to be revealed who is with you and who really ain't with you. Because if you really with me, you with me, flaws and all.
Your flaws will be what God will keep God's eyes on you. Your flaws are a blessing. Your flaws are what makes you different from everyone else. Don't hide your flaws. Don't chip away. Your flaws are who you are. Now, if you got flaws that you need to, then that's one thing. But if it's a part of who you are, embrace it. It's like that first episode of Game of Thrones when the little midget was talking to Jon Snow, and he was like, "Aren't you the bastard?" Everyone called. He's ready to kill him. Why are you calling? He's like, "Everyone calls you a bastard. Everyone calls me the dwarf. Everyone calls me the imp. The world's going to call you whatever they're going to call you. You can spend your life trying to fight what the world calls you, or just embrace it and move at your own speed." And it's so true. Don't even care about what the world's calling you. Don't even care about what our people are calling you. Just move at your own speed and move right.
I want to put this up here because this is a Sigma man and one of my Mason brothers I got a lot of respect for. And I know you're a neophyte and being a Sigma, but I'm going to throw it out there because I know you're a proud neophyte as a Sigma. But he said, Joe, you know the importance of being in your kid's life. Imagine if you weren't there, that all I'm saying is black daddies matter. Yeah, you know what? And let me say this, my brother. More folks need to say that. We not only need to say black fathers matter, we need to say black mothers matter. We need to say black families matter. And we need to understand what we have been told as a family is not what really is 100% a family. And just because the family structure may not look like what we call the traditional family structure does not mean black fathers shouldn't matter, black mothers shouldn't matter, black children shouldn't matter, and black people, period, should matter. And our problem is too many times as black and brown folks, we don't matter to one another. We are too busy fighting one another, arguing with one another, trying to debunk one another instead of us fighting other folks who are 100% against us, our well-being, our uprising, and us doing better. Sometimes the biggest enemy we have are ourselves because we're not fighting the real enemy. We all of a sudden have made ourselves the enemy. I said what I said. I stand 100% behind it. Prove me different. And I wish you would prove me different, where I could literally come up on here and say, you know what? After further review, I have realized that I am completely wrong, because I relish today that I can say I am so happy to see black folks working together, moving together, fighting together, uplifting one another together. And we do have pockets of this happening, but we need more of this happening because less of it's happening where it needs to happen. And that's why many a times we are put into this position where folks literally make us look like animals in a zoo who are crazy gorillas running around acting like savages. And that's not what we are. We are an intelligent people. They did not go over there and get savages to come build this country. They went and got architects. They went and got mathematicians. They went and got scientists and teachers. And they happened to have enslaved them and brought them over here to do the same thing they were doing over there, over here, and do it in a manner that they did not have to pay for it.
And I will say this. Yes, black fathers matter. Black mothers matter. Black cousins don't matter. Cut your cousins off. They don't do nothing but scratch. All they do is steal your shit and scratch your CDs. Black cousins ain't worth nothing. Just everyone else in the family, y'all good. But black cousins don't matter. Leave your black cousins in the past and move forward, black people. And if you can leave your cousins behind you, you will find the promised land. Black cousins ain't shit. Sorry. I got trauma.
Jason, my man, listen, it is 15 minutes after. Thank you for the extra 15 minutes. We will continue this conversation tomorrow. Tomorrow, family, I'm on my way to California. Ayo, I'm going to Cali. I'm going back to Cali.
Please go to In-N-Out Burger for me and take a picture.
I will. I'll do that.
Thank you.
Listen, man, give me some closing words. Let's get up out of here, bro.
Closing words. Black cousins ain't shit. No. Closing words again. Understand the propaganda machine. Don't fall for it. Analyze it. See it for what it is. Teach your children how to see through it. Don't let the news get you so animated and without understanding why the news is getting you animated. See through the bigger picture. See why they're telling you this. Why are they putting this all over the place? Why are these other stories being ignored, but this one's being thrown in your face? Understand that the whole news media is nothing but one giant organism that works together, and learn how to see through it. And you will disregard a lot of the stress that this society tries to put on you.
Brother, what time is it in Germany right now? It's 4 o'clock.
It is 2:15 in the afternoon.
It's 2:15 in the afternoon. So from my international brother over there in Berlin, Germany, doing this thing and doing it big, nothing but love for you, my brother. I'm going to keep you on the screen for a minute. I think we'll both leave together. Listen, family, everything he said was relevant, real from my point of view. I love how you said the black cousins, because your cousins will get you in trouble. They sure will.
Won't they though?
Yeah, they will get you in trouble. But better yet, let's take a little accountability and responsibility. Ain't nobody make you do what you don't want to do.
Well, true. They're the arbitrators of temptation. That's what cousins are.
Yes, sir. So with that being said, 16 minutes after the hour, listen, we'll be back tomorrow for Turn Up Thursday, Turn Down for What. I'll be on the road headed to California, but we'll still be here giving it to you just the way you like it. Remember, be better today than you were yesterday, and do something today that you can bless somebody some way, that whatever you do for them, you don't expect nothing back. Just release it freely. Freely release it. It will make your soul feel good. It will make your heart feel good. It will do something for you. I promise you. And always remember this, because me and Broken Berlin stand on this. It ain't what you got. It ain't who you know. There's only one thing you need to know, and that is that you are here, and you are here with purpose. Remember, there is no secret what God can do. What he has done for others, he will and he can do for you. For when God is with you, nothing or no one can stand against you. That part. We up out of here. We'll catch y'all tomorrow. Peace.